Okay. So today's focus was on essential rewards on the coaching and accountability call. I thought it was timely. It's November 8th. The BOGO sale has one more week. And part of our challenge to you is to see increase in your essential rewards numbers, AKA percentage, in this next week, especially because of BOGO. So, and to make touches with your customers is also part of that as well. You want to give them the best opportunity to be on essential rewards, be working on their health goals and kind of helping them meet their needs. What are some takeaways that you had from the call this morning that you think you can implement right away? Action steps that inspired you to write down, things that you're planning to do. Let's start with that first, and then we'll get into kind of question, problem, solution kind of stuff. But what were the takeaways?
I love how he just grabbed her and shook her. I feel like that's a really great idea.
Right? That was super sweet, the way they started that. They've been married like some ridiculous amount of time, like 32 years or something like that. So I thought that was really, really cute. It also, what else? What else did you take away today?
I think for me, when we're setting someone up on essential rewards, when they're, or I guess getting them kitted initially, just assuming that they're satisfied with just the kit and not asking if you'd like to add something more to it when first signing up. So, putting that glass ceiling on them before they even have a chance to respond because you didn't ask the question.
Good point.
I thought it was a great idea that they said, they always say thieves and the laundry soap, or the cleaner, the household cleaner and the laundry soap. I'm like, yeah, because everybody does laundry and everybody cleans their house. And that's where so many toxins are. So that is a great starting place for somebody who would be brand new to Essential Rewards, getting those two things on their order.
I love it. What else did you take away?
Good morning. Sorry.
Good morning.
I didn't think you'd want to hear that. So I'm going to piggyback off what Julie said, and I like that they led with their specific goals, health goals, and if they didn't have them, then for sure they had that as a backup because everybody does clean. And as I was listening to them, they're a couple and they play off each other's strengths. But what if we don't have a spouse in this business? Doesn't matter. We all have team members and we should be playing off each other's strengths and teaming up to do some of this stuff. All right, I'm going to mute while I go back to dishes. I'm listening.
You look beautiful, by the way.
Thanks. I mean, thank you. I received that.
You're welcome.
For me, it's all about the posturing. I feel like so often we let our own feelings about it interfere, like we're worried that we're asking them to spend more money or anything like that, rather than the posturing of course you want to do this. It's a no-brainer. You're going to get 10 points from this, so we're going to go ahead and count this as your first essential rewards. Now let's figure out what it is you're going to want to order next. The posturing is huge for me.
I love it.
Okay, I got another one if no one else is going to jump in because I don't want to be selfish. Anyone? All right, I'm doing it. So how many of you are blown away by the fact that these are brand new people? Like they are brand new senior stars. They probably don't know the words. They're probably failing forward and figuring it out. And they have it. They have like a ridiculously high ER percentage right off the bat. And here we are experienced in what we're doing. And we get caught up about the words and we worry about the books and the resources and all the things. They just freaking do it. Brand new and they do it. That just tells me every single person we're bringing on board and helping get started, that's what we need to teach them to do. Just freaking do it.
You don't have to be trained. You don't have to be systemized. You don't have to, yep. It was great that Art Williams was on Quote of the Day this week. A new version of the do it and do it and do it. And were you top leader in another company and came to ours at the bottom of the ranks? Then you've got to really do it right? Like, just do it. I appreciate that, Liesl. And I'll say one of the things that stood out to me, since we're talking about things that really popped for us in the call today, the thing that stood out to me was that they do so many of their signups in person. I will tell you the difference between, because I had somebody sign up last month using my link, and I wasn't there to say the things that needed to be said about Essential Rewards. They did it on their own and didn't choose Essential Rewards. Had I been there, I could have shown them how to get a nutmeg, how to get their Thieves laundry soap and the seedlings things that they're going to need on their next order, et cetera, et cetera. But I thought that, like, we couldn't find a time to meet up. So I sent the link and they did it themselves without contacting me. So that person-to-person contact makes all the difference in the world. We took a woman last night who came to our Now What class from, wanting to go home to do it herself. And there were all sorts of like buzzers going off in my head, like, don't let her leave. And so we got her signed up with us. Like, it took a village. Like, there were 7 of us, like, helping her sign up, getting her on Essential Rewards, helping her, put her order on for next month so that she knows what's coming next, showed her how to access all the things. And that personal contact is what makes the biggest difference. And going back to your point, Liesl, it takes a village to do that. We may not have a spouse to, 1-2 punch at the end, but we have other people to connect to and make it happen. So it was awesome.
Yeah. And then
Liesl, you owe us big time. You owe us big time.
No, but that's part of the team. But that's part of the team spirit.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I could not be there last night. I had a business builder a new builder on the call, and then had other things I had to do. So knowing you guys had my back and jumped in and took care of that person, that's awesome. And you guys know I would do the same for you. So I think that's all part of that team piece. So thank you for that. We had a killer day yesterday. 3 new signups on our team.
It's fantastic.
So it's nice to see people duplicating. I love it. Thank you for that.
It's very, very inspiring. I think you're also going to have a lot. Well, I want to order some of those Best Box Ever books from LSP this month. So definitely write me down for a few of those. But honestly, we've got the resources there. I wanted to make that really clear to people that they don't need to go out and buy something new to make this better or different. Just do the things with what you've got. Say the words, be confident, show people what value there is. But do those touches now. That's the other thing I really want you to take away from today's call. Don't wait. Really write down the people who haven't ordered or that you've been meaning to come back around to. Really get on their calendar in the next week so that you can help them maximize the BOGO, help them maximize the 10 ER points, and get their order processed by the 15th of the month. Other takeaways, other kind of snapshots of things that stood out to you, and then I want to move into question and answers and problem solution.
Okay, I'm being selfish again. I have one more, but I'm not really being selfish because I want to make sure everybody heard this. When you said, Ange, the piece about legacy and not taking the whole month off, I mean, yeah, it's a holiday month, but you're sacrificing so little when you look at the grand scheme for what you have as your bigger vision for your family. My kiddo's coming into town this weekend. You know that I kind of stop everything when my kiddo comes in town, but there's still ER people to be called. And I'm fitting that into the nooks and the crannies of, spending time with my girl. So you're not giving up entire family time. We're talking minutes, very few hours for us to be able to do that. And it really hit home for me because I have some team members that need to hear that replay. I'll be making sure they hear that. The legacy piece. I loved that. So thank you for speaking to that today.
Yeah, we're gonna say more about that next week too, because I think that's specifically on the holiday weekend. People tend to just like, well, I'm just celebrating with my family. That's great. Let's also look at how we can build up our family's generational wealth because of a few concerted hours and efforts that we can take to build our business in this time. So yeah, somebody else spoke that into me. And so I wanted to pay that forward.
And I want to piggyback off what Liesl said because I said this last week, and in case you missed that, my family knows that Black Friday, I'm not that available. I won't be, at least in the morning. And to set that expectation, and it'll take a lot of groundwork also for me, the beginning of the month, or really not even yet. I haven't even mentioned Black Friday to my group yet, but work now and the payoff will come on Black Friday. And I did mention last week, I didn't go Black Friday shopping anywhere that Friday morning. And Ange said, yeah, to save $10 so you can make your paycheck can increase by $500. It's a no-brainer.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Questions, answers, problem solutions. What else? What are you wondering about today, either related to the morning coaching call about essential rewards or not? This is a good time to have access to us as your leaders and supporters on this journey.
What are your suggestions with approaching people who have recently dropped off, just because that, money situation or otherwise? And we're kind of evaluating, seeing, okay, where did we go wrong? And
you have to release that.
Just the person.
Yeah, you have to release the rejection factor. I had somebody drop off Essential Rewards this month. I knew she was going to. We talked. I mean, she had mentioned that she wanted to. I gave her the steps that she needed to take. At the same time, I'm not losing track of her for product education, because just because it's a financial strain on her, she's a young new teacher. And just because it's a financial strain for her at this time doesn't mean it always will be. So I'm really shifting gears in meeting her needs. So making sure she's in the product education group, making sure like I'm sending, follow-up information for new members, and being in touch with her about her health goals as she gets into 2020, because I don't think she's gone forever. If I continue, I really think it comes down to what they said about what are their health needs, and is there a way to show them how Young Living helps them meet that.
Cool.
What else would you guys add? Anything about people dropping off?
I have a question. It's not really about Essential Rewards, though. I had people attend one of my classes. Julie, I think you were there for that class with Mirna. She had 3 ladies that were all ready to sign up. They had pulled out their phones. They were going to start. But then all of a sudden they didn't do it. So then when I followed up, I get like no response, or I had one lady tell me, oh, well, not right now, but I'm interested in the future. What should I do for those 3 ladies? Because I am intentionally going to touch those people that haven't done anything but have attended classes lately.
Thoughts, you guys? What would you add in? Anyone. It doesn't have, you can be, if you face the same thing, what would you recommend?
I would say just keep them on your list of people to contact. And, after a couple of months, I don't ever have a problem saying, asking the direct question, what's holding you back? What are you waiting for? Because they say, oh, I will eventually. Okay, do you mind just sharing with me what you're waiting for? Because a lot of times, if the more questions you ask, the more they talk themselves into it. You're not trying to convince them. Don't spend your time trying to convince them. Spend your time getting to know them, asking them questions. What's holding them back? What are they waiting for? What are their goals? Asking those kinds of questions really is more helpful.
And I would add to that, getting them to additional opportunities, because if that was their first exposure, it's very likely that they just need more and more exposures. And I love what Dan said about continuing to ask questions. I had something brilliant that came to me, and it wasn't my words. That's why I can say it's brilliant. It was someone else's. Let me think about that again. Going back to what they were excited about, putting that back in front of them and saying, hey, when you were at so-and-so's class, you know, you were really excited to get started with that seasonal blend we talked about, you know, are you ready to do that or something like that? Go back to what excited them about the kit so they can kind of relive that in their mind and put that emotional response in front of them again. And that was probably a horrible example of how to say it. Maybe someone else has better words, but you know what I'm trying to say. Put back in front of them. It's kind of like when people drop off of ER or stop doing the business and we put that back in front of them. When you started this, you said you wanted to blah, blah, blah. Is that still something that you're working toward? So does anyone else have better wording? You know what I'm trying to say.
That's great wording. I love it. I love
Thanks.
it. Yep.
Look at me failing forward and bumbling through.
Well, again, you're not always going to say it perfectly. You're going to, I mean, you're going to tap into again, it's got to be transactional. If you're just doing all the blah, 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 and focus on what you're saying, you're not really listening to what they're saying back to you. So say what's on your heart. You know, what was exciting to them. And, you know, John, this is to your point as well. How many points of contact, you know, again, make it community centered. Make it gathering centered, make it fun centered, make it, pull it back away from the, I really need you to order to, hey, this is so great. We're so glad you're on our team. You know, I'm still treating this woman who dropped off with, you know, the respect and courtesy that she deserves as a customer of mine. And who knows, she may place a Black Friday order because I'm showing her value and touching in with her and making those contacts. I right away I said, hey, can I invite you to something at my house? I live in North Peoria. It might not be that close. She said, oh, I'd love that. You know, she's looking for that kind of thing. So that didn't have anything to do with what can I do to get you back on ER and everything to do with the relationship. So and again, it's not easy to do if somebody's out of state because it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. But I still think it's important to, you know, comment on Facebook posts, be positive and supportive and loving, and, you know, all of those little soft touches that you can have now that are going to pay off in the long run. Cool. I also wouldn't make them your focus. Can I also say that? Like, have them on your list, like Dan said, but also don't put them on a target either. I think people sense that when you're desperate and you're kind of, you know, and like very, yes, be direct, but also give some time and space for the conversation to naturally happen instead of forcing it at the same time. And I say that because I think about the 7 touches, you know, the 7 exposures. I really like that you use that word. And sometimes people just don't want to hurt your feelings and tell you they're really not into it. And allow space for that as well. But if they think they're the only 3 people, you know, that are going to make or break your business, then they're holding a lot of the power over your success. So keep prospecting beyond those folks and keep sharing beyond those people and come back around. I also think again, that's broadening. I think sometimes that it creates a little bit of FOMO when you're not following up with them too. When they see you spending time or asking other people or having fun without them sort of thing. Like there's an insiders club that they want to be part of. So that's why Oily Friendsgiving, you guys, honestly, is a private event. I didn't make it public because it's not for everyone. It's for people who can commit to show up for an open house. It's for people who can, you know, drop in and say hi and bring, you know, friends and family members, and it's a little bit exclusive instead of just being an anybody can come sort of event. We really want to focus on the people who've committed to being there and encouraging them to bring friends. So we are going to do prize giveaways and drawings on every half hour. So that encourages people to come for like an hour and get here so that they can, you know, have an intentional time, you know, spending fun, enjoying, you know, light snacks and time together. But literally it's just a customer appreciation point of contact. It also can be duplicated. I'll also say that. Don't think that my event has to be your only event. Like, have your own. Just take what I've been doing and just do it yourself. Have your own Oily Friendsgiving or make and take event, or, you know, something that is exclusive and only open to members. I don't know. I'm kind of going off on a tangent now. I literally was listening. Literally, my friend Ashley has 9, like she said, I have 9 events. I'm not hunkering down at all. She has 5 kids. She's like, I'm not hunkering down at all. I have 9 events this month. And she said, some of my people won't host because they're just not hosters or hosts. And so she said, I'm hosting, I'm collaborating and working with them so that we can have it at my place. Like, just be willing to put yourself out there and work with some people to do it together. Other questions, answers, problem solutions that you want us to sort of deal with you today or give you some perspective about?
I'm going to do a class for my aunt that lives in Indiana, and we're going to do it like on FaceTime. Like she's going to do it. So like I'm there, but like virtual host. Is there anything that I should or shouldn't do?
Yes, Maggie just did one of those, and her biggest complaint about that was, I don't know what was said before or after the class, and I would stay on with them as they're following up with people. And you do the close, do a strong close with them online, and then say, my aunt will now sign you up. Make sure your aunt knows how to do that beforehand, because that's the only way it can happen. So Maggie had a great class, but she got no results from it because then she got off and isn't sure what happened after that. So
Gotcha. Okay. That's kind of what I was wondering. So perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. And you might just talk to her individually too before you do it. See if she has anything else.
Okay. I will do that. I'll reach out to her. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, peeps.
I have a question really, really quick. I'm doing a vendor event on Sunday. I agreed to it, so I'm setting up a table, and I have everything laid out. I mocked it up on my kitchen table yesterday. I have a question. Do you just do the little forms and have them enter to win the big prize kind of thing, or do you hand out business cards, or how do you transfer information to close at a vendor event? That is the one part I am unsure of, because I don't currently own business cards.
I don't close at vendor events. I mean, I give them my card. I have my card sitting out.
You don't have to have a card, though. I would also just interrupt for a second. So you don't have to have a card. I literally use an address label or write on the back of whatever couple brochures that you have. I did not give anything. I did not get everything to everyone. Anything to everyone. I had it there. If they asked me for my information, I could write it on the back of a brochure and hand it to them. And I literally probably saw 100 people and gave 5 of those away.
Yeah, I totally agree. And the handout from class is a great brochure if you don't have one. You don't need to have a bunch of fancy stuff. The biggest thing is getting their information so you can contact them later. Your close is later. A vendor event is not the place for a close. The vendor event is a place to make a connection. That's your sole purpose.
I'm going to say too, I would try to connect with them digitally on the spot. So you can have them do the drawing, and if you can search by vendor in the Business Builder group, and you should find some stuff. I think I uploaded a form there that I do to a sheet, and you can print those if that's what you want. I think there's other ones in there too. If you don't like that one, there's some LWN ones, and I kind of copied mine off of theirs and started there. But connect digitally when you have a really good connection, because you're probably going to get several people that enter to win a prize, and everybody that enters my drawing wins a prize. I learned that, I think, from Nan.
I learned it from you, silly.
Oh, well, I'm so brilliant. I just don't even know where it comes from. I'm kidding. I don't know who taught me that. But yeah, anyone that enters your drawing to win that prize, you contact them and say, you're a winner. And then I get together with them and let them choose from a handful of prizes. But just collect their info on those forms so that they can be in the drawing, have a basket out of what they could win. And then the people that you really, really connect with that are kind of your strongest connections, I try to connect with them on social media right there on the spot. And I have them friend request me. I accept it right away.
Oh, that reminds me, Liesl, too. We always write on the back of their form what we talked to them about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that we have something to have a conversation with when we connect with them again.
Yeah. And try to find
Awesome. Thank you.
meeting them.
Liesl, I'm so glad this was brought up. Liesl, don't you have like a really good form? I remember when we were doing Java, I remember you having like some kind of form that you had people fill out at vendor events.
Yep, I based it off of what LWN had already done, and I just put them forward of a sheet, and I went and had them printed and bound, so they're like tear-off pads, but you don't need that. Just print a handful of those, cut them in 4 pieces, and that is in the LW1 business files. Just go into the files and search vendor, or just scroll through and you'll find it.
Okay.
And there's tons of other stuff. If you just search the word vendor in that business group, you're going to see other people's tables. The simpler, the better, would be my advice. Keep it pretty clean looking and less stuff. We have a tendency to want to overload it and show everything on the table. My advice would be don't. A couple products from each line are main lines that have starter kits. Some thieves, some oils, maybe some Savvy, Ningxia, that's it. That's my opinion.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Sorry it's loud. Roomba's working over here. Now that I'm a silver leader, I have a house cleaner. Her name is Roomba. When I'm a gold leader, I'm going to have an actual house cleaner. But for now, I have Roomba. Sorry.
No sorry. Only excitement. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I love that she's a girl. Roomba's a girl. All right, y'all. I recorded this. I'm going to stop the recording. I'm going to stop now with the call, and I'll post it on YouTube. Send the link in our Thousand Dares group. If you're not in our Thousand Dares group, your leader can send it out to you so that you can listen to the whole thing later. I think there were lots of good takeaways, and I'm just posting up the call from 7 a.m. in the Business Builders group. So check that out as well.